So, what can you do to combat the model minority myth? Well, first, knowledge is power. Learn about Asian American history. For example, PBS has a film series called Asian Americans. Check it out. Asian American on PBS. Learn about the model minority myth. There are articles, TED Talks, school lessons that are all easily accessible online. Go right ahead. Google model minority myth. Now, knowledge is power, but sometimes you need strategies so you can feel prepared when you have to be around people who falsely buy into the model minority myth. Psychologist Dr. Daryl Wingsu has created a micro-intervention toolkit that you can read more about in his book, Micro-Intervention Strategies: What You Can Do to Disarm and Dismantle Individual and Systemic Racism and Bias. Also, in the past couple of years, there have been a number of bystander intervention trainings available, including one by Holla Back, a nonprofit working to end harassment in all its forms. Also, connect with your Asian American communities where you feel seen and heard. Maybe join or create a workplace race affinity group for Asian Americans. Especially with social media, there are so many possible ways that you might be able to find local or national virtual Asian American communities. There are meetup groups and Facebook groups that center almost every Asian identity. And there are groups that center Asian American solidarity and activism. For example, there's See Us Unite, a cultural campaign designed to accelerate impact and expand support for the Asian American Pacific Islander community through solidarity and education. There's also the National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum, and there's the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund, just to name a few. And there's even a Facebook group dedicated to Asian American mental health called Subtle Asian Mental Health. You might also consider how your culture of origin copes. For many of us, social gatherings and food are a form of self and collective care. Each of our cultures also has traditions of healing, whether it's prayer, connecting to ancestors, traditional medicines, or rituals and holidays. By the way, it's okay to say no to others and to set boundaries around people who don't see or hear you. Maybe that means limiting the amount of time that you spend with these folks, or maybe being around these folks when there are other people around to help buffer the interactions. Maybe it's making a plan to leave a racist school or work environment. Or if possible, deciding not to spend time with these folks at all. Lastly, if you feel like you need even more support, consider looking for a therapist who specializes in or has experience working with the Asian American population. There are specific directories and resources out there, like the Mental Health Coalition's AAPI Mental Health Resources page. And there are excellent therapist directories, such as Inclusive Therapists, which prioritizes minoritized identities like ours. Remember, we are not model minorities. The model minority is a myth. We are Asian Americans, the most ethnically, economically, religiously, and linguistically diverse racial group in the United States, which means that only you get to create your narrative of who you are.